Hi, it's Kirby Summers. Today is Friday, December the 6th. And this is basically going to be a throwback Friday. I interrupted my work. I'm working on part 6 of Weird Scenes in Liverpool, which took me into Harvey Weinstein. And of course, I can't think about Weinstein without thinking about Ronan Farrow, who I have given a lot of credit to throughout the years for his story that appeared first in the magazine and later in Catch and Kill in his book. But I just wonder how many people are aware of the fact that when he wasn't working on these issues, his goal was to become president, which, is a great goal for anyone, and that he did indeed work in the White House. In fact, Hillary Clinton tapped him as her special advisor for global youth issues in 2011. And the office was created as a result of a multi-year task force, again, appointed by Clinton. So she created this office for Farrow. Before that, he worked in the Obama administration as a special advisor for humanitarian and NGO affairs in the office of the Special Representative for Afghanistan and Pakistan. Um, There's information about this part of his life, and although it's included in his Wikipedia page, some of it kind of is parsed out and a lot of it is gone. So if you try to pull up, let's say, Hillary Clinton with Ronan Farrow, who of course is Mia Farrow's son, supposed to be Woody Allen's son. Many people claim he's Frank Sinatra's son, and by the way, Frank Sinatra does make an appearance in my Weird Scenes in Liverpool series, as does Mia Farrow. All of these people converge. So before I get into the crux of it, because I want to read to you a short bio before Farrow wrote the piece on Harvey Weinstein, exposing David Boies and Black CUBE for the New Yorker in October of 2017. Before that, there was a very well-found document showing a younger Farrow in 2011, which is gone. I may include the link below to an archived version of that document. And the reason that I think it's important to know who's worked with whom. I also discovered that he worked with Leslie Wexner's law firm. So that surprised me because what I have been doing is basically pulling off the layers of a very big onion that have kept us from finding answers. And I'm not saying anything negative about Ronan Farrow. It's up to you to decide after I read this, without his participation, the Me Too movement, which really kind of was sort of like it happened for a millisecond. So I'm left wondering, did it really happen? But without his help, the Me Too movement would not have been what it became. Rose McGowan's story would not have been told. Harvey Weinstein, did it lead to toppling Weinstein? Perhaps it did. However, there are thousands of Weinsteins, and there are more situations that have yet to be described or discovered. And I have been snaking my way back into the 1960s, and I'm finding names that are very familiar to us today. And I'm looking at their roles, and a lot of the roles, and again, I'm not saying anything negative about Ronan. A lot of the roles that I initially thought people had, I'm discovering, oh, wait a minute. This was done to divert attention from this, which was really the important thing. And so because this is suddenly missing and you can't find it anymore, I'm going to read it. So Ronan Farrow, Special Advisor to the Secretary of State, Global Youth Issues, term of appointment, June 30th, 2011 to present. Hey guys, give this a like. Remember the algorithm, the algorithm. Ronan Farrow is a special advisor to the Secretary of State for Global Youth Issues and director of the State Department's Global Youth Issues Office. With youth populations swelling and young people driving global events to an unprecedented extent, Special Advisor Farrow is responsible for implementing and amplifying youth policy and programming throughout the department. The Office of Global Youth Issues, created by Secretary Clinton as a result of a department-wide review of youth policy, oversees the historic effort to empower young people as economic and civic actors through U.S. programs, encourage governments to respond to youth through U.S. diplomacy, and direct engage young people around the world. A lawyer and former human rights advocate and journalist, Special Advisor Farrow assumed his current role following 2 years as the State Department's Special Advisor for Humanitarian and NGO Affairs in the Office of the Special Representative for Afghanistan and Pakistan, overseeing the United States government's relationships with civil society and non-governmental actors. Prior to joining the State Department, he served as a spokesperson for youth at UNICEF, working with youth groups on the AIDS epidemic in Nigeria, on post-war reconstruction efforts in Angola, and in the Darfur. Prior to joining the State Department, I just read that. In the Darfur region of Sudan, sorry. His writings on humanitarian and human rights issues have appeared in publications including the Los Angeles Times, the International Herald Tribune, and the Wall Street Journal. And he has appeared on MSNBC, ABC, and CNN, among others, advocating for children associated with armed conflicts. He has heavily emphasized youth engagement in his advocacy efforts, working at the forefront of the student movement on Darfur and touring the country speaking at universities as a representative for the Genocide Intervention Network. In 2008, he was awarded Refugees International's McCall Pierpaoli Humanitarian Award for extraordinary service to refugees and displaced people. In 2009, he was named by New York Magazine as their new activist of the year and included on their list of individuals, quote, on the verge of changing their worlds, end quote. In 2010, Harper's Bazaar named him their up-and-coming politician of the year. He is a graduate of Yale Law School and a member of the New York Bar. During his time at Yale Law School, he practiced at New York-based law firm Davis Polk and Ward Well. He also served on the legal counsel team for U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee, working on international human rights issues. I want to bring your attention to the fact that Davis Polk and Ward Well is Wexi's law firm, that is where he was selected a bride in the name of Abigail, Koeppel, whose father was the person who began working with the MOSSAD and was part of the first crew to work on the airline of the country that begins with the letter I. And it's an airline that we know now today as LL. And so I was looking for it because I thought, you know what? I wonder why no one's ever mentioned his Clinton connections. I'm just curious because the other person that has a lot of Clinton connections is the man responsible for the book that everyone was buying. What is the name of that book? It is James Patterson, Filthy Rich. Now, James Patterson, Filthy Rich sold a gazillion copies. What most people didn't realize, however, is that the following book that James Patterson would write was with and for Bill Clinton. For those of you who read my newsletters, who are members of my Substack, you will know that the person that we speak about frequently was not Bill's first rodeo. He was supplied, I'll include a link to that article too. He was supplied with the same situation back during his days in Arkansas. And so I just thought, well, it's Friday. I've been interrupted from my writing flow. Let me give you this kind of extra, and you can just, think about it, things to ponder. All right, guys, give this a like. Talk soon. Bye.